back to the Binary Booktube channel. I'm Sophia and welcome to my March wrap-up. I'm filming this super late. Today is the 20th of April, but I just hadn't gotten the time to film it because I was still getting the hang of filming while I have people at home, and then I had tests, like a lot of tests, and I was just trying to figure out my routine to film and to get videos to you guys. So I figured it out and I am now getting back to you with my wrap up. I read a total of 12 books, which amounts to, let me check on my Google document. Okay, so I read 12 books in March, which amounts to a page total of 3,928 pages, and I read one smutty book, four dystopians, and one mystery, one fiction, one adventure book, two fantasies, and one romance, like contemporary romance thingy. And without further ado, there were no DNFs. Let's get into it because I have a lot of books to talk about. And the first one is Learn My Lesson by Katie Robert. This is book number 2 in the Wicked Villain series. I gave it a 3 stars. We're following Megara and Hades and Hercules a bit after the events of the first book. It's a smutty book, so there's a polyamorous relationship there. I did not enjoy it as much as I enjoyed the first one, and I just felt meh. The characters, there were some characters that lacked layers, and I don't particularly enjoy cookie cutter characters, and there were a lot of those in this book, so I just feel like it needed a little bit more of a if you know what I mean. Book number 2 that I read is The Hunger Games by Suzanne Collins. This is part of the books for April from the Half-Blood Book Club book pick. There we go. And we were reading the whole saga in April, but I read them all in March. Spoiler alert. But we're following, I don't know if anyone doesn't know what this is about, but this is a dystopian. We're following Katniss Everdeen as she is called to participate in the Hunger Games, which is an annual event that each district has to volunteer a boy and a girl between the ages of 12 and 18 to compete until the death in an arena for the entertainment of the whole country thing pattern, basically. So this was book number 1. I gave it 4 stars. It was a reread. I loved it. It was good. I already knew the story. I read it in Portuguese, and yeah, I think that's the only thing that is different, is that I read this in Portuguese. But next up, I read The Hand on the Wall by Maureen Johnson, and this was kind of a gathering from February, because I started it in February. I just didn't finish it at that time, and I gave it a 3 stars, but I'm kind of considering a 2.5. This is the 3rd book in the Truly Devious series, and we're following Stevie as she applies to this big school, which is Allingham Academy, and basically they have students from the best areas. Like, if you are there, it means you're the best of the best in that area, and she applies there to solve the Allingham mystery. There was a family, and the wife and the daughter were abducted. The wife was killed, and no one knows where the daughter is, and it's been like 80 years or something. It's a dual perspective story, so we're following the present and the 1960s, I believe. That's when the kidnapping happens. So we're following everything from there, and this is basically the wrap up of things. Now, a lot of the conclusions were disappointing, to say the least. I did not like the way they wrapped up Alice's case. I did not like the way they just so easily found the guilty person, and the guilty person was just there and, oh, I found this, and now I'm gonna kill everyone. And it was just, it was a mess. For me, it was a mess. It was rushed. It was juvenile. I was hoping it would pull it more to the adult side than to the younger side, but I was just really disappointed from that book, and I actually really loved Truly Devious. I just wanted kind of a bigger twist and the punch, and it didn't do that for me at all. Next up, I read The Handmaid's Tale by Margaret Atwood, and I gave it a 4.5 stars. Yeah. So, everyone was telling me, oh, be careful with this book. It has super mature themes. And I'm like, I saw the show, and okay, I agree, it's gonna be gruesome. Uh. No. The themes are there, yes, but they are glazed over. Most of the times, if you don't know what's happening in here, you won't even notice it. Like, it's just so glazed over. They never say the word, they never say what happened. It's just so glazed over. I was very disappointed in that aspect because I was ready for something more brutal, but it didn't happen here. And we're following a girl named Offred, not a girl, a woman, and of Fred, and she is a handmaid in a world where women are almost unable to procreate. Like, it's very, very difficult for kids to be born and to be born alive and to be born alive and a girl. Like, that's just super difficult altogether. And so the ones that are able to produce children are called the handmaids, and then you have the wives, and then you have the Marthas, which are the maids, and then you have the unworthy. I don't remember the name. Basically, they are the ones that are sent out to die in a radiation filled world, basically. The writing style in this is very, very peculiar. I took a bit of time before getting used to it. We have a Portuguese author which writes in a very similar way to Margaret Atwood. I liked it. The message is good. I just was ready for something a bit more memorable than it was, but it's a really good book, and I think everyone should read it. And especially if you are a woman or if you are a guy trying to understand the woman's side, read this. I think it's very, very descriptive on like oppression on the female gender, and I believe it is a good book. I was just hoping for a bit more, and so it didn't quite reach the 5 stars for me. Next up, I have The Bad Beginning by Lemony Snicket, and I gave it a 3 stars. And we're following the Baudelaire siblings. We have Klaus Baudelaire and Sunny Baudelaire and Violet Baudelaire. And their parents die in a fire, and so they're orphans, and they are put to the care of Count Count something. I can only remember Count Dracula, but his name was not Dracula. It was something, Count something, and he's basically a very creepy dude that just wants the money, like the Baudelaire money, and he will treat the children as his freaking slaves until Violet is old enough to give him the money. So everything devolves from there. I saw the movie, loved the movie. I saw the show, like the first 4 episodes or 5 episodes. I really, really liked it. This book was very lackluster for me. It was enjoyable, it was good to pass time, but it was very lackluster. I was expecting more thrill, more adventure. But we just get Klaus as a know-it-all, Violet as like, I'm in charge here, and Sunny is a baby who sometimes talks, and those were the funny parts. But Count something, which I don't remember his name, is just a very, very monochromatic villain, which I'm not a fan, and I just missed that feeling that I got from the series and from the movie. That emotion and that caring. I just didn't care. And these are rare cases, but I actually prefer the movie and the TV show to the book. I am reading The Reptile Room this month, so let's hope it gets better. Let's hope I start to care. We'll see about that. I'm not convinced, and I have 12 books to read, so yeah, we'll get to it. Next up, I have Thunderhead by Neil Schusterman. I give it a 5 out of 5. I'm not sure it will be up when this goes up, but I have a Soul Says film on this book, so if you want more details, check it out. Subscribe and ring the bell. If it's not up, it should be up in some days. So yeah, just keep an eye out, and I have an entire video dedicated to this bad boy. Next up, I read Girls of Paper and Fire by Natasha Young, and I gave it a 4 stars, and this was the Half-Blood Book Club book pick for the month of March, and we have not had the live show yet because we forgot that the Sunday we agreed on was Easter, so we are not sure on what to do, but I will link you to the live show because there will be the live show for the book. I will link the video, or better yet, go and subscribe to Sadie, because usually the live shows are at her channel, so head on to there and check her out. She's amazing. All of the girls are amazing. All of their channels are linked down below, and the live show will be on her channel somewhere, sometime. I don't know yet, we haven't discussed that honestly, but we are following a girl, and I can't remember her name, but she is chosen for her eyes to be a paper girl, which means she is basically training to be a concubine of the king. And so the king chooses like one of them each night, and she is not happy with being a paper girl, and they have like a necklace, and on their 18th birthday it opens and it has like a scrap of paper where it tells you your destiny. And well, being a paper case, she's like the lowest case in the world, and so yeah, stuff happens. I don't know, I found it to be, I like the story, and I like the development, and I liked the politics system and the magic system. I did not care for the insta-love. That insta-love was a no for me, and I believe this insta-love got as much love as it did because it is a girl-on-girl romance. I have nothing against that. I just don't think it's a good romance, because if it were between a girl and a guy, everyone would be like, oh, that's sick, people don't fall in love like that, and it's realistic, and everyone would be like screaming and cheering. But oh no, it's between 2 girls, it's adorable, and I'm like, yeah, they're cute. I just see no development at all between them. You find it odd? Because I do. I don't like it. I'm not a fan of that romance, honestly. Next up, I have a non-fiction book, which is Atomic Habits by James Clear. I gave it a 5 stars because reading non-fiction books is very different from reading fiction books. So basically, this is the story of James Clear, and he walks us through the 5 steps to forming lifelong habits and to destroy the bad habits that you already have. And I rated it 5 stars because it's a very informative book. You learn a lot from it. The only thing I find to be a bit over the board is the amount of examples he gives, because he gives an example to nearly every type of situation in your life. You have sports examples, you have study examples, you have work examples, you have resting examples, you have eating examples. As you can tell, a few hours have passed, my hair is dried, my camera actually ran out of battery, so I had to put it to charge, and then I went to have lunch. Yeah, I joined things together, you know. As I was saying, Atomic Habits, the only thing that I didn't like was the amount of examples that were there, but I think it's a pretty good book. And if you're wanting to learn how to develop a new habit, or trying to get rid of a not so great habit, it's a great book. You should check it out, honestly. It was super informative and I really liked it. Next up, I read Keeper of Lost Cities by Shannon Messenger. I deviated a bit from my preset TBR for this because I was kind of nearing the end of the month and everything I wanted to read was for the owls, or I wanted to read a way too bigger book, and I just didn't have the time to start it and then have to stop it during the owls. Now, the Keeper of the Lost Cities is about Sophie. She is 12 in this one, I believe, and she is not human. She is Fae, and she can read minds. Everything started when she was 5. She had an accident, and she doesn't remember what happened. She only remembers waking up to a neighbor, getting her to her parents, and she being able to read minds. She's taken to Fairy, and she's not Fae, she's an elf, which is slightly different. But she's taken there, and then she goes to a school where they develop their powers, kind of like Hogwarts, but they have like specific powers. Like you can be specific fire, or specific ice, or specific mind, or I don't know if there's any others because I haven't really dwelled in that world a lot, but it seemed pretty cool. I gave it a 5 stars. Actually, it was pretty fun. It came, it gave me back to that nostalgic little feeling that I have when I read Harry Potter while reading a totally different story, and getting back to stuff like I said, like Harry Potter or Percy Jackson, or even kind of the Hunger Games. It kind of gave me like that nostalgic, making me feel younger kind of thing. I really liked it. I can't wait to actually get back to the series. There's 8 books out. There's an 8.5 book coming out in November, and I hope I can manage to read all of them until then. The problem is they're all huge. Like this one was the first and it had nearly 500 pages, but I know there's some of them that are like 800, nearly 900, and 900, nearly 1,000. So yeah, that's a whole nother situation. Next up, I have Catching Fire by Suzanne Collins, book number 2 in the Hunger Games trilogy. Again, I gave it a 4 stars. It's the Half-Blood Book Club book pick for April, so it's the whole saga. It's the pick, and yeah, we are following Katniss after the events of the first book, and this is my favorite arena, and I do prefer the gaming aspect, like the hunt aspect of this game, of this book, other than the first one, because the arena is deadlier and it's more intricate. It's the arena itself, it's intricate. It's so freaking cool. It's my favorite arena, and it's my favorite cast of characters. We get some characters here that I love from my dear heart, and I believe it's a more developed story than the first one. The first one was just like ground rules, getting everything ready for the conflict, and then conflict happening, and then end of book one. And this is just conflict is here, bitches. And we have a very diverse and well suited group of characters backing up Katniss, and I really, really just like this book a lot. I think it's my favorite of the trilogy, honestly. But I will leave. Well, I won't leave because I don't have it yet. But you guys can check out Sadie's channel and check out when we're gonna have our the Hunger Games live show, and we'll talk about it more then. We have 2 books to go, and the next one is Josh and Hazel's Guide to Not Dating by Christina Lauren. This is my second Christina Lauren book, and I absolutely love this book. I love this book even more than The Honeymooners, and I think I'm figuring it out, like, why I like this and I don't like contemporary YA, because I'm very picky on my contemporary YA, and this is my least favorite genre. But with adult contemporary or adult romance, which is the case with these books, I'm loving it. I'm loving it. It's so freaking cute. They are told like they are romantic comedies, which I think it helps everything a lot. But we're following Hazel and Josh, and Josh is kind of Korean, so yeah, I have a little crush for Josh too, and they are single, both of them. Well, Josh isn't single, but yeah. Josh has a girlfriend, but his girlfriend lives far away, and he doesn't spend a lot of time with her. And he's always single. When one day, Hazel's house floods, and she is just homeless because everything was absolutely wrecked. And so her best friend Emily, which is Josh's sister, just said, "Hey, maybe you could live at my brother's house. He's going to visit his girlfriend for a few days, but even when he gets back, you can just stay in the guest room, and I'm sure he wouldn't mind." And the guy's like, "Yeah, I'll be out for a while because I'm visiting my girlfriend, and I'll be fine as long as you don't like make a mess or anything." And she's like, "But I have to have my dog." And it's super cute. And then they go on a series of blind dates. Each one is worse than the other. I adore this book. I love Hazel. I love Josh. They're so freaking cute. Their relationship is amazing. Like, we follow them through thick and thin, and we see them develop, and this is how I like romance. And I want to explore more of Christina Lauren because I am finding myself drawn to their books, and it's amazing. And it's just so freaking cool. Like, I love it. I absolutely love it. Yeah, I gave that book 4.5 stars. I didn't give it 5 stars. I don't know why, but I don't know. It's just so freaking good, honestly. Last book is Mockingjay by Suzanne Collins. All of the Hunger Games books are in Portuguese because I bought this when I was 15, 14, somewhere around that. Between the ages of 13 and 15. And I only started reading in English at like 14, 15, more or less. So, yeah, last book in the Hunger Games trilogy. Book that made me cry the most in like a record time span. And yeah, I don't know. For me, this is the worst book in the trilogy. I gave it 4 stars because I really like the story and I really like everything. It's just we have a very big space where we have nothing, we have no action, we have someone setting up stuff to happen, and then X event happens and everything goes downhill from there, and there's no development because there's no freaking time for development because you have like 150 pages of the book left. So that's the only problem with it for me. Other than that, I really like it. I really like the saga, and I was planning on rereading it anyway because we have a ballad of Songbirds and Snakes coming out in May. So it is done. This is also part of the Half-Blood Book Club pick for April. So yeah, we're talking about the whole trilogy in our live show, which has no date yet, but I will let you know in a future video when I found out, because we haven't agreed on anything yet because of COVID-19 and how the hell are we gonna manage all of this with everyone home and everything. But I hope you're staying home. I hope you're safe. Leave me a comment down below. Tell me what you read. Recommend me some of the books if you want, if you like. Leave a like, subscribe if you haven't, and please click the bell. I usually post on Tuesdays, but with everything, I'm not so sure I can stay on schedule, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!